the snowy mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Grab a book at We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers, and for $5 a month, Captain Shirk has your news updated on the news wire. Tonight's show is brought to you by CHIVE Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to CHIVE Charities today. You can find them on our website. Tonight, we have one of the fastest growing names in the search for Sasquatch. Hunter and guide Steve Isdahl from the popular YouTube channel How to Hunt has quickly climbed up the ladder for credible names in this phenomena. Steve, who refuses to call himself a researcher, is an experiencer, having a face-to-face encounter with Bigfoot that has sent him on this path of trying to figure out what this animal or monster truly is. Along the way, he's ruffling a few feathers within the old boys community of researchers. This is never a bad thing. Steve, not one to shy away from having an opinion, will open up tonight to us what he feels Bigfoot really is. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, Steve's going to stick around. We're going to join The Shift with Drex, broadcasting across Canada on the Chorus Radio Network. We're still going to be talking Sasquatch all night long. Steve, welcome to Spaced Out Radio for the first time. Your first big interview that you have actually come out public with. I'm a big fan of your channel. I've been watching you for about 3-4 months. Love the fact that you're a BC guy like I am. Thank you for choosing us to come out and talk about Sasquatch.
Hey, Dave. How's it going? Thanks for having me, man.
Very appreciative that you're here. Very appreciative. I want to go back in time with you, my friend, and learn a little bit about how Sasquatch came into your life.
Right. All right. Well, you know what? It definitely wasn't... It wasn't anticipated. It definitely wasn't asked for, that's for sure. You know, I'm quite certain, like many other people similar to me that have had these experiences, definitely did not ask for it. If they could probably turn it around, they probably would, for certain, you know. But when it first, you know what, actually, just in BC, you might remember years ago, remember back in the day, your mom used to give you that $3, or I think it was like $3 or $4, you go to school. I think I was in grade 3 or grade 4, and you had that list of softbat books, and you could take 2 or 3 books for your $5. Remember that?
I totally remember that.
Yeah, and there was one book there with a yellow cover, and on the front of it was a Sasquatch, and I think it was by John Green, The Apes Among Us, maybe? I don't remember the title. It was a long time ago. But anyway, that would have been the first time for the typical kid. I picked the monster book, right, and then whatever other books I picked, but that would have been the first time I actually became aware of the topic. I probably read it. Didn't think too much of it, obviously. And then fast forward a handful of years, and I just graduated, and I was commercial fishing for a living. So, and obviously a hardcore bow hunter, and I didn't have anybody hunting in my family. So I had to teach myself and got into it, honestly, on my own. And you couldn't hunt with a firearm unless you were 18 or 19 at that time. So I picked up the bow and started bow hunting, and then to be able to hunt, I bought my first truck for my commercial fishing money. And then everybody's in school, everybody's still at work, and I'm hunting all week. And I basically had the place to myself because it was the middle of the week. It was great. And I could hunt legally by myself because I was bow hunting. So I went to this. Do you want me to tell you exactly what happened? And I mean, it started.
Yeah, I want to hear it all, my friend. I want to hear it all.
All right. So I had this one spot, and it was early season September. So that would have been still warm out. Your typical hunting methods for early season is going to be your first half hour seeing light's going to be good. And it's going to get warm here, and it's going to go lay up in the dark brush. So the rest of the day is a write-off. And then if you want to do it in the evening, you're going to get in there probably, early September. What's it going to get? Seeing light's going to end at about 8 or something like that. So you want to get in your spot by at least 6:30, 6. And that's what I was doing. I might be off on my time. Don't quote me. I'm just winging the clock and the daylight dying time for September evening. But anyway, so I go up to the height of land, across the top of the little level off at the top. And the old road wound around the mountain and went downhill to a landing, where I guess where the gravel yard used to be or whatever. It was real steep back there. And what I noticed back then, I'll never forget it, but when I climbed up to the top, it probably took me an hour and a bit to do the full trek to get uphill, to get to that spot and get in position for the last light. But when I go across the top, there was, like, the road was sunk in a little weird path. Like, if you look to the right side of the road, it went straight up bluffs, timber up to the right, and the left side was rock bluffs. It went up a little bit, but tapered down if you got over the top. So it's like going over a little mountain pass, right? But the road was fairly growing in on both sides. Thick, gnarly bush on both sides of the road, and every single frickin' time I walk through there, I just get the EBGBs. Like, your hair would stand on end. I'd feel absolutely anxious. I'd feel, like, very vulnerable. Like, just, it didn't feel good. It got to the point, like, I dreaded that part of the hike, but I was so eager. I was so excited. Like, I loved that thing, like you wouldn't believe, obviously, and fishing. But it overpowered my, I guess, whatever insecurities that were forming from that little path. And I go anyway. So I just kind of grit my teeth and bear it and hike anyway. And then I'd sit and I'd wait there until I couldn't. So what it would be like, at last light, you would wait. You give up. Your day's over when you can't see antlers on a deer anymore, obviously, because it's bucks only. And once I decided nothing else coming out, if I didn't get anything, I'd turn around and start my hike back out. And now I got to go through that pass, basically dark. I'd just be dreading it every time, like, oh, God, here we go. And you just get that weird urge to almost go running through that part, But, and it's that warm early September evening. The sky's not black, not overcast, clear sky. So it's like if you looked at the timber beside you, it's almost pitch black. But if you look at the sky above you, it's still that real nice dark blue color, and the stars are just starting to come. And then once I got through that pass, then I'd be going straight downhill through old washed out gravel road. And it would be winding down. And it would take me about another 40 minutes once I got over that pass to get out to the truck. And I didn't have a four-wheel drive. It's actually an old 72 Chev C10 half-ton. And but I'm going down the steep road, and the noise you're making is insane. It's just dry gravel underneath your boots, trudging away downhill. It's been washed out from rain forever. And I'm going downhill. And if you looked, so it's a steep grade. The road's going straight down in front of me, and then it dog legs to the right, 90 degrees at the base of a rock wall face in front of me, okay? So on top of that, if I was standing halfway, if I made it halfway down that little strip, and if I pointed at my finger up to the top of that rock, my hand would be roughly at about 2 o'clock angle from 90, So I'm walking down, I glance up, and about 15 yards away from me, here's this dude, basically sitting on the rock, looking at me, staring at me, and that's what your brain is telling you. And I just looked up. I can't remember if I had I'm getting stared at feeling then or not, because it was such a common thing to have that feeling when I'd come back or come back through that pass to the top. It might even be confusing in my memory. I don't know, because 100% of the time I went through that pass, the hair on the back on your whole body would stand on end. And obviously I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I didn't know anything about Sasquatch sightings or any of that at all then. And you're 18 years old, right? I mean, you're dumb as a hammer. So I look up, see this dude. Obviously, right away I'm thinking, oh, here's another guy, because there was a game trail that came at the bottom of that rock face off to the right, where it dropped off into the timber again on the low side. And I thought, oh, this guy's obviously sitting over top of that game trail, right? So I just looked up. Your brain registers hunter, probably. And, hey, any luck? Just like that. I mean, it's 100% obvious we're looking at each other. We're right there, middle of nowhere. And the second I spoke, that dude, slowly It'd be like if you and I were playing hide and seek or whatever, and I looked at you, and then you slowly started to duck out of the way and to get out of my vision. And,
no kidding.
And yeah, and that's instantly, I mean, it's the alarm bells are screaming, right? I mean, what the hell? What? And you're a kid, this dude, everything happened so fast, so unexpected. But it was such a threat. If I look in the bush beside me, it's basically pitch black. If I start panicking and running, if I started panic and run on that washed out dry gravel with, no wind, no sound, I'm going to make so much frickin' sound from me panicking and running. I'm not going to hear this guy run ahead through the bush and pass me and jump me. If that's what was going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you're instantly you're thinking this dude was sitting here waiting for me, getting ready to jump me, or he's going to attack me. I was just feeling so. I've got my hair is standing on end of my arms. I can't, this many years later, but that threatened feeling was absolutely unbelievable. I don't think I've had a threatened feeling. Well, yeah, I've had it. Yeah, I had it a few times since, but it was so threatened, but I knew better to run. So all I could do was get an arrow on my bow with that razor broadhead, and I kept that arrow pointing between me and that side of the road that dude was on. And then I just went, I'm trying to keep my breathing in control. I'm trying to listen. I can't see anything. So I'm basically shuffling. I go step, 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 and I did that for almost an hour until I got to my truck.
No kidding.
And thought it, yeah, well, if you are 100% convinced somebody's hunting you. Like whatever this guy's doing, he was, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm getting this across clear enough of what went down and how I felt, but when you have a dude right there in the middle of nowhere, it's just you and him, and he's sitting right there almost like he's expecting you to come. He's waiting for you, and then you acknowledge him. I mean, it could have been more obvious. We're right there looking at each other. But it was just the silhouette. It was the perfect silhouette. So now I look back. Anyway, so big long story short, I made it in my truck, and then, fright in any human makes you angry. It switches over to anger, right? I mean,
yes.
They say there's nothing more dangerous than a scared human being on the planet. When I got in my truck, I'm like, that son of a bitch. I could not believe this person's doing this to me, did it to me, whatever. I'm going to wait him out. I'm going to wait here. And then I'm waiting, and there's nothing. And then I started thinking, what the hell is that idiot doing up there? I mean, seeing light for antlers ended an hour ago. Why would he even be there? You know what I mean? Like, that guy should have been out to his truck way long ago or whatever. But then I realized, well, there's no truck. And the old road that I drove up, it went up for about, I don't remember, maybe 15K or something from the main line. And there was nowhere to park on the side of that road. There's nowhere to park a vehicle. And I was the only person in there each day because I'm hunting all middle of the week. And nobody's logging. It's too hot out. Nobody's in there. And I was the only truck. There's nothing there. And then I went back to where my road hit the main line. I sat there and I waited another half an hour. And it was steep valley, timbered valley. You could hear any motorized anything forever. Nothing. And then I don't think I really started cluing in, but then I got my buddy, and we went back. He snuck his dad's rifle. We went back and put him on the rock, and that dude was probably conservative 3 times bigger than him.
No kidding.
Yeah. So that was my first. But then, I don't consider that a major exciting story. I mean, I didn't get to see his face. How very fast. When that thing slinked to get slowly and stealthily and specifically to slink out of sight of me, that was so frickin' alarming. I mean, there isn't a wild animal alive that knows how to do that. You know what I mean? You don't look at a grizzly bear, anything, and all of a sudden it goes, oh, it sees me, and the grizzly bear slowly steps in behind a tree. They just don't do that. Right. Every game animal on the planet looks at you, locks eyes with you, turns and runs. They don't know whoops, he sees me. I better just get behind this tree a little more. There isn't a game out that does that. But anyway, so fast forward real quick. So what solidified this whole issue for me was later on in life, and I was like 26 or 25, and I bought my grandfather a hardcover book called Mysteries of the World book for Christmas. And he'd basically been everywhere on the planet, in the woods, done everything, flew a bomber, the whole 9 years. I got a video about him on YouTube. And I'm in the living room after he'd slobbing out in Turkey, and he comes in, sits down beside me. And I instantly went straight to the Sasquatch section of his book, because back then, I mean, there was very little literature available that I was aware of anyway, definitely no internet. And I just went straight to that section to see if there's anything that, some kind of a whole reporter setting hadn't read yet, something interesting, and read it. And then that's when he said, do you believe those things? And then I'm like, well, yeah, totally. Pretty sure I've seen one. And that's when he shared to me his broad daylight face-to-face. And then that was the moment for me. There's no more questioning myself. Then I knew what I saw. It was real. And and nothing matters from that point on. When that man tells me what he saw, that's it. It's etched in granite. Done. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. Salt of the earth type of man's man is what you're saying. Steve, I do got to make a quick comment here, okay, to all of your listeners. This is the first time they crashed our website. That is awesome.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess all of your listeners, your followers, people who wanted to hear you, all bandied about to spacedoutradio.com, and they crashed our website. And we are still broadcasting live on numerous different outlets, Kingdom of Nye Radio, Spreaker.com, just type in. But I want to say thank you for that. That's the first time that's ever happened on this show. And I got a big smile on my face about that right now. Not even mad about it. But we are working on it for your listeners. So, and your.
Do you want me to rip into them on YouTube for this?
No, please don't. Please don't. I'm actually quite impressed by that. But, with your experience having that encounter at such a young age, and you being such an outdoorsman, and you're a hunter, you're a hunting guide, from that time forward, did you pray that you would never have that encounter again?
Well, what I tell everybody, and this is fact, when you are forced to accept the fact of these damn things, it changes everything, and it will never, ever, you will never go back. She's just terrified of this damn topic and terrified of people, and I just do not get it myself. I'm not scared of sharing this shit with everybody, obviously, and it should be shared. And before I go on a tangent, that's, before anybody, just take note, you guys. I am the voice for the people. That's what I am. Period. When it comes to this and other topics. But anyways, it changes. I'd be lying to everybody in the planet if I said I did not think about these things every single frickin' night before I got to get up in the morning by myself and drive in the woods, and every single time when I'm driving my spot, and every single time when I'm about to get out of my truck and put on my backpack and start going in the dark. You will never, ever, ever not think about these damn things ever again. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Really, eh? I know I had an encounter in Mission, British Columbia, with two creatures within 100 feet of me. And I will never forget the way the sun bounced off the back hairs of this creature. I got a full right side and back side and back of the head profile. And I'll never forget, like, even looking at it in my mind right now, there was no neck. There was no neck at all, and it had the pointy head, and it was just absolutely magnificent. Now, I wouldn't get closer to it, because I'm pretty sure that the one I saw that I got a real good look at was probably 350 pounds, if not bigger. And the strength and yeah, no kidding. The strength and the magnitude that you could just see, the power in it when you're that close, it is phenomenal. So you have been a believer of this creature for a long, long time. When you started getting back into the woods and you started being a hunter, more so a guide, when did you start taking notice, as we've got about 3 minutes before we go to break, when did you start taking notice that these creatures were a lot more plentiful than what you thought?
Well, just for one quick note, the believer word, that's not in my vocabulary. It doesn't even apply. that's like a religion or something. I know about these things. Let's keep it that way, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's no, do you believe in it? No, I know about them. And if you don't know about them, you just don't know about them. It's not about being a believer anymore. But anyway, sorry, I got in that tangent there. But that's it. When I hear the word believer, it just kind of strikes a chord. Sorry, what did you ask me again? What did I think about when I started guiding hunting? What was I thinking about?
When did you start noticing that these creatures were a lot more plentiful than what you may have thought or what any of us thought?
More plentiful. I don't know if I was actually worried or concerned about their population, as the word goes back then. It was just after having my conversation with my grandfather, then the curiosity kicked into full overdrive, and then I started looking into this topic and talking to people and trying to figure out what the hell. You know, I don't think I was overly concerned about actual populations or how populated the woods were. It's just more of what the hell is going on and how come we're not informed? Why don't we know about these damn things and what are these things and where are they? And then I just started doing my own digging on my own, for sure, as anybody would.
With about 90 seconds to go, did you think that this was a live creature like a Gigantopithecus type animal, or did you think there was something more special to this, the way many Indigenous people believe?
I think when I was at such a young, immature age with very little knowledge on the various items at that time, I thought, you know, I remember like way back then I met up with that Dr. John Bendernagel, great guy, and I had this big, glorious plan of making a decoy and putting a screaming baby tape recording in the grass, and I was going to nail one, you know. And so back then I was thinking a little foolish and not quite informed yet, and I believe I thought they're just a simple kind of a primate or an animal back then, for sure.
And now?
Not a chance.
So you do believe that there is something a little bit more, and I use the word believe, I apologize, but you do think that there is something a little bit more special with this creature.
Let's put it this way. If I had to bet on whether or not these things are a simple ape or a gorilla or something more, I would say put the gun to my head and tell me to call them an ape or a gorilla or pull the trigger. I'm going to say just pull the trigger. That's how firm I am.
When we come back from the break, I want to get into that because you and I are along the same lines here. Because my experience that I had a few days after my sighting, and I told you this earlier on the phone when we talked, and I'll explain to our audience later what happened, really, really has me thinking there is something very special about the Sasquatch. Steve Isdahl is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking Sasquatch, Bigfoot. What's your thoughts? His YouTube channel, How to Hunt. It's got 87,000 followers, probably more after tonight. More Bigfoot talk with Steve right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, CHIVE Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a Space Traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Beautiful 108-mile ranch, British Columbia. Snow everywhere. I absolutely love it. Reminder to all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you could check out our free archives at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, has a plethora of features for you. Do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. We got some Bigfoot shirts on there you might want to get. You can pick up a great book at We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has your news updated daily on the Newswire. Steve Isdahl is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio from howtohunt.com. His popular YouTube channel, How to Hunt, has taken off over the last few months because he's been posting videos about interactions with Sasquatch. He's got over 87,000 followers now on YouTube. When you hear that number, Steve, what runs through your head, man?
It's, I don't know. One thing everybody needs to take note. I've never said like, subscribe, or come here and watch us or share anything once. Like, not once. It's just, it's like to keep the door wide open. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's treated with respect until you're a dick, and then you get punted forever. But it's never been about getting followers. I've never really been too concerned about the numbers, to be straight up honest. It's just, once I got, I shouldn't say lured, but, I was just getting hammered on by everybody. I just everybody's asked me nonstop, what made me all of a sudden realize it, but I thought of my grandfather and how he was scared to tell me, and that man flew a frickin' bomber in the war. He jumped into a sheet metal tube full of bombs, flew through basically a wall of flames and flying lead, so that every single one of us here could live the life we're living today, and that is a fact, and it just started making me grind my teeth that man had to basically keep this secret out of terror from the very people he offered up his life for, and that is so wrong. And then, so that's when obviously I'm like, all right, what, screw everybody. This isn't how it's going down anymore. Screw that. So,
why do you,
out of respect,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so just out of respect for him and all the other people who've been discredited and laughed at and mocked and lost their credibility, it's like, it's time to stand up for everybody and jam it right down their throats and stick up for the people and the truth, the honest facts, and here we are today, and now. I probably get, I don't know, I think I've got probably over 4,000 emails right now sitting there just the last few months, and people are reaching out like crazy, and there's a lot of people out there that are messed up, and there's a lot of people out there that have been taken advantage of by a lot of these douchebag so-called researcher groups too. And a lot of people are freaking out because they say, oh, you hate all researchers. I go, would you guys listen to my frickin' words? I've never said I hate all researchers. You guys listen to me. I say I have had it up to the nuts with all these bogus people who are in for it for themselves and taking advantage of people. And they're misleading people and keeping facts hidden. That's who I'm after. That's who I don't put up with, and that's who I'm exposing while sticking up for these people that have been abused, Now, listen to me go. I shouldn't have drank that coffee a minute ago.
That's all right. That's absolutely all right. When you come down to it and you look at the people who are jumping on the bandwagon and saying, hey, we want to learn about this. We want to know your take about this. Now, well, your take is a little bit different than, as we said previously in the first half hour of the show. And that is that you believe there is something special or supernatural about this creature. Why is it that you believe there is something different about it?
Well, oh boy, there's a can of worms, isn't it? How do you go about doing this? It's the answers to these questions crack up. There's just so much more linked to it than just a flat-out statement of what these things are. There's so much more linked. And what you try to do, what you hope to do is we're hoping to kick people's brains in gear for themselves so they can see and learn for themselves. Because, you know, in reality, the majority of the evidence or the facts that everybody's screaming for, well, they've been sticking in front of your face for years. And it's amazing how many people, you know, you show them something that just can't be argued or looked at any other way. Okay, here you go, look at this. And all of a sudden you hear the sound of crickets. You know? And you hear the sound of crickets, and they'll say, we need a body. Okay, yeah, we understand you need a body. But did you actually take a look at this evidence right here, and did you take a look at that and take it in? And then you hear crickets again. You know? So if that's believe it or not, I mean, obviously, the people who are screaming it's a hoax, it's a joke, it's bullshit. With the evidence available today, those people are not ever going to be they're not ever going to be able to accept these facts. Their brain isn't firing that way. Their brains aren't going to fire that way. Do you know what I mean? So for me to blurt out what I feel these things are might be a little bit much to take right now. One great big blurt out, and I'm not exactly. I'm narrowing it down to a fine point right now, and I'm not going to say shit until I've got the fine point right in front of my face, which is basically it's there. It's just a matter of a little more talking, a little more digging, and confirming. And it's not that comfortable of a topic, but it is what it is. But yeah, listen, you got me babbling. I'm going off on a tangent.
No, that's
so much to talk
that's
about.
fine
so
and dandy. There's so much to say because, I mean, I can tell about, you know, by the tone of your voice, the passion in there. And there's certain words that I can't have on the air, but that's okay. Well, you know, I have a dump button that I've had to press. I'm at a record pace right now, which is kind of cool.
Sure.
And anyways, with that, I mean, the First Nations and the Indigenous people, especially British Columbia and into Washington State, Oregon, California, and so on, who have had interactions with this creature for centuries, believe that there is something special. Maybe it's interdimensional. Maybe it comes from some sort of different source or plane or whatever it may be, and they respect it. They have a healthy respect for it, much like what I'm seeing and hearing in your voice regarding it. When it comes to today's research, you do not see a lot of people wanting to get into that type of thought because their opinion is different. Then they go and use their opinion as scientific proof. Why do you feel that you are so against that type of thinking? Was it an experience that you had personally that led you to believe that there is more to this creature?
Well, it's just using your common sense. If you use your common sense and don't, oh boy, you know what this is? What a topic to talk about. If you use your common sense, just put the brakes on, reel it in, use your common sense, look at the facts. It points to these things absolutely not being a bumbling missing link or bipedal ape. It's not even possible. You know, people always use the rainforest and the gorillas as an example. Oh, well, you know, the mountain gorillas were only discovered X amount of years ago. Yeah, well, that is true. And do you understand what the population was in that country and in those mountains, where they were, compared to the population we have in North America and where these things are today? It's a complete different show, you know. But, oh, man, where do I start? Where do I keep going? I'm losing it. No,
that's fine. Well, the idea, the fact that we have a bunch of researchers out there who are adamant it's an animal, Gigantopithecus,
right.
And then we have the Indigenous side, which says they believe it's more spiritual. There's something special about it, and we can't seem, for the most part, to combine the two. The researchers are very much on their end, and the Indigenous, they're following the stories and the experiences that they've had for hundreds of years.
And those are the Indigenous people of each continent who have the same story. Take note. You know, it's not just the Indigenous people of North America, it's every single continent on the planet. And I'm starting to find with these researchers. It's like I was talking to this First Nations guy up the road a few months back. I was kind of snooping around the Mount Currie area for something to do in the springtime and bumped into him. He's working for the band. And, hey, what are you doing? said, oh, it's kind of, they look at some Sasquatch prints up here, and he goes, oh, no, they're down by the river. I'm like, what? It's like talking about deer. He goes, yeah, no, they're down at the river right now. I'm like, oh, so you know about these things? Yeah, and right away. Well, we don't really talk to, like non-native people about it too much because they laugh at it. It's kind of weird. And I go, yeah, it is kind of weird, but I'm not one of those average people, and I've seen a couple of them. So, but getting back to the research and the people who insist on this, insist on that, they don't listen to what I'm getting at is they don't listen to the Indigenous people of the land, and what a foolish, foolish move that is. Let's go back in time. Let's just say a boatload of 500 men showed up from Europe or wherever, hit the shore over here, meet the Indigenous people, they cut them a few meals, tell them what game's available, and they mention the hairy, giant people of the forest. All right? So which one of those idiots in the boat is going to be the dumbass who stands up and says to all those Indigenous people who have been here since time began and say, what? Yeah, no, they don't exist. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what are you thinking?
Absolutely.
What are you thinking? It's very frustrating.
You seem to take it personally. Why do you take it personally?
Well, I don't know if it's personally. It's frustrating for me when there's a handful of researchers out there who have been, how do you call it? They're attention freaks. They're making a good dollar off this. And if it goes the other direction, away from the direction they want it to go, they stand to lose basically everything they've been working towards, which is obviously fame and monetary gain. And that's a fact and easily proven. And that makes me growl because that fuels people to be discredited, misled, and lied to nonstop. And now these guys have had such following, such exposure. They're getting the final word in a way. Well, they used to be. Now we got the internet. The internet's just jam packed with it. And then finally, I just had enough. And I think that's why it's getting so popular now, is because finally somebody's standing up and screaming out the honest truth, and there's no bullshit. And there's no bullshit tolerated. And nobody's done that because 99% of these ding-dongs in front of the cameras are full of bullshit.
I hear you. And in regards to the way that the First Nations look at it, and you have talked to many over your interest in this subject even before going public with it, do you believe that there is something magical, something ethereal about Sasquatch that we just haven't put our finger on yet? I know what my opinion is.
Well, there's something more magical about life in general. You can't just pinpoint the magical part on one little tiny piece, which is Sasquatch. This whole frickin' round ball is incredible. What people are missing, the main point, a big point that people are missing is absolutely incredible that we exist, that we can even be. That's incredible. That's mind-boggling when you start thinking about it. That actually can cause a person anxiety. Sometimes they start diving down that rabbit hole and trying to make sense of us and sense of everything. And if you can think outside the box and see the obvious, then it becomes clear that absolutely anything is possible in this lifetime, basically. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree. So with that, okay, if we focus just on this creature, this entity, whatever we want to call it, what to you makes it magical? Is it the way it can seem to disappear? Have you ever seen, I'll ask you this question this way. Have you ever been up in the mountains in the snow and seen tracks just stop?
No, I haven't experienced that myself yet. I haven't actually looked for it either, but it's been witnessed numerous times. That's a fact. But the magical word, I've never used the word magical. One thing that I can say about these beings is they outclass us about 1,500% outside, especially as soon as the lights go out. Basically for humans, as soon as the lights go out, the animals of the night own the planet. We are absolute helpless, as soon as the lights go out, basically, except for technology today. But these things outclass us 1,500%. Whether they're watching us from somewhere or they can sense apparently they can sense our thoughts, they can sense what we're doing way ahead of before we get there, which I don't know for certain. but it sure is pointing that way. I mean, when there is all these trail cameras in the woods and they're not hitting up some frickin' good skills, right? And that's what starts to slowly convince you that something else is obviously going on here. Or a lot of other people that don't know about these things, haven't seen them, they automatically say, there's 10 million damn trail cameras out there in the woods. We would have had them by now. They don't exist. Oh, sure, you guys. Listen, just because a trail camera can't pick something up doesn't mean you quit. You figure out why, and you keep digging. But everything points to these things being the outclass us 1,500% in every aspect of being alive. They just do. And there's a handful of stubborn and driven people out there who have managed to pull off a handful of video clips and photographs of these things. They have pulled it off a handful of times, and they've figured it out. But on the average, these things just outclass us massively, and it's hard for the average human ego to accept that,
So with that, what do you think, in your personal opinion, Sasquatch is?
I can tell you what they isn't. With confidence, I can tell you they're not a half-walking bipedal ape or monkey. That's for sure. They're not a missing link. And before, what are they? The answer to that question is huge. You can't answer that question in a few minutes on a radio show. It's just not going to happen. If you want to get to the DNA study, and it wasn't just one doctor that did the DNA study, it was multiple labs. They all come out with the exact same outcome. Human female, unknown male. Right? So if you wanted to give a quick answer, whatever they are, they're part human female and part unknown species. And that's been proven numerous times. So how's that for an answer why they are?
Yeah, that's through the research of David Paulides, who we just had on the air a couple weeks ago on this show, and somebody I have high respect for in this field of research, not only with the missing 411, but with Sasquatch and UFOs as well. Now, you say you know what it isn't, and you don't believe that it is a great ape. You don't believe it is something that is physical fully to this planet that's been here hundreds, if not thousands, millions of years. Do you believe go ahead.
Well, there's a possibility. There's a possibility that they are not here full time. I don't know. Who knows? I do not know. Okay. What exactly? I don't exactly know when, where, or how they are. When they decide. I haven't a clue. It's such a frickin' mind-numbing mystery to try to dive into and chew on and figure out. It's ridiculous. But the more you dig, the more the absolute intelligent people you start to find, and then you start putting it together, and the picture gets a little more clearer. But the picture as well can somewhat get alarming where it leads. This conversation grew down about 25 rabbit holes?
Absolutely, but I mean, that's the problem. I mean, you mentioned the rabbit holes, and it's funny. I just typed in rabbit hole to one of your followers, Christy, who's in our Spreaker chat room tonight, and it is true. It's a rabbit hole because, as I've said to our listeners and our followers for a long time, Steve, the minute you open that door and you walk in, and you look on the other side, there's 10 more doors. And behind those 10 doors are 10 doors each behind those 10 doors. I mean, it's just a never-ending cycle of trying to figure out what it is. Do you ever feel that the closer you're getting to it, or the closer you feel you're getting, you're still so far away from finding the truth?
I think the closer you get, the more knowledge you gain, and knowledge is awesome. Knowledge is absolutely awesome if it's something you crave. And so there's no regrets there for sure. One thing I'd like to point out, too, what I keep telling people is, and I keep telling all these, sometimes I'll get sucked into watching some kind of researcher group online, and they have these great plans of stringing out trail cameras across the country, and they're going to go and bang on trees, and I can do this. And you're watching these people replay these actions for 3 generations now with the same outcome. And it's like, good God, would you guys just pull it in for a second and regroup? And if you could all just take all that energy that you're expending over there, and if everybody band together and directed their energy to one question, is why aren't we informed about these things? If you could do that and come up with that answer, then I have a very, very strong feeling that we will have the answer to a lot if we got that answer. But if I could direct anybody and everybody doing something, it's just find out why we're not informed about these things. Find out why. Skip all the other horse shit. It's been done a million times. What are you thinking? Get your head out of your ass. Focus on why we're not informed. The proof's out there that these things exist. The proof's, every form of proof we need is there, except one sitting on the slab on a table on a CNN screen. Big deal. It's there. The DNA's there. The film clips are there. The photos are there. The tens of thousands of witnesses are there. It's an issue. It's an issue, and the number one question that everybody is just not actually asking, and it drives me nuts. Why aren't you guys demanding that the public get informed about these things? Like, what are you thinking? There's a lot of people out there who won't let their kids go and play in the yard. There's a lot of people, families are getting split up because the poor logger or the truck driver or the police officer is coming home, he's lost his job, he's been discredited. Wife left him, took the kids, dad's nuts, or mom's nuts. And nobody's taking even a second glance at how serious that is. There's a lot of casualties going down from this issue, and nobody's demanding that we get informed about these things. They're just letting all these people get gobbled up and spit out. And that's got more of my attention right now than the majority of the topic.
We only got about 30 seconds here before we have to go to break. Right there, you kind of showed a real human side to all of this. You care and you want the truth out there. Is this an important topic for you now? Has it become an important topic?
Well, yeah, for sure it is. As soon as I cracked open, a stick up for the respect for my grandfather, John Bendernagel, and very good people similar to them. And then the email started pouring. Not fair that we don't get informed so we can make decisions for ourselves for our holidays, what we're going to do in the backyard, what time of year we're going to go over here with a family. It's not fair. And that every single person on the planet should be pissed off about that.
Steve, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we got to go to break here at the top of the hour. Steve Isdahl, Bigfoot, your questions coming up next on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey Spaced Out Radio fans, it's John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to CHIVEcharities.org and become a donor today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. Normally I go through a little bit of a diatribe in reintroducing the show and reintroducing our guests. We're going to get right to it here because I know there's a lot of people out there who want to hear from Steve Isdahl, since this is his first real interview that has taken place on live radio, and we're very thankful for that. We'll just get to the clam word, which is... I don't even know this. Magna Caudate. Magna Caudate is your password, space travelers. Use it wisely, as the clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Steve, his website is howtohunt.com. His popular YouTube channel has over 87,000 followers. How to Hunt, if you want to subscribe to that, we highly suggest you do. Welcome back to the show, Steve.
Hey, man. I'm still
appreciate
here.
You. I appreciate that. We got a bunch of questions building up from our audience here, and I know people are excited to get the one-on-one interaction with you. I want to ask you a quick question here first. You've been a hunter pretty much your entire life. I know many people who have been the same, and they've never, ever had a Sasquatch encounter. They've never seen footprints. They've never found hair. They've never found scat or heard strange noises in the forest that they figure they cannot explain. Why do you think so many hunters are in the dark on this subject if it's been so clear to you when you've had that same amount of time in the forests?
Well, we're not being informed. There's nowhere we're not being informed. So if you don't have anybody in your circle that may have had an experience with these things in the time you're growing up, how are you going to find out about it? You're not going to know. It's not even going to be in your head. You are not even going to know what to look for, or what to notice, or even, you're going to be looking for the usual tracks, the usual game sign, and your brain wouldn't even know what to look for when it came to signs of these beings being around. It's because they're not informed. But you know what? There's a pile of hunters out there that are playing dumb. We both know that. There is a pile of them that seen things, and they're going to admit it no matter what, and they're going to pretend they didn't see it, and they don't want to recall seeing it. And that's a fact. Trait with human beings is how terrified of each other we are, isn't it? It's amazing. Everybody's so scared of each other, scared of family members. I've had people email me, they're terrified to tell their family. It's like, how wrong is that? It's just so frickin' wrong. It's mind-boggling. And that adds to my frustration with, why aren't we informed about these things?
All right, let's get to a few audience questions here. Let's start with Mike, who is asking, Steve, did your first experience happen in British Columbia?
Yeah, it was on Vancouver Island.
All right, let's get to Dave here. Dave is asking, and he's one of your followers in our chat room. Hi, Dave. Thank you for joining us. He says, Duncan, BC, Cowichan River, do you believe it's plausible that Sasquatch activity has happened in the past decade along the Cowichan River, just east of the Island Highway towards Cowichan Bay?
Oh, for sure there has been. I grew up steelhead fishing on that river, and there's been numerous reports of fishermen getting growled at in that river. There's footprints found in a farmer's field not far from Scotts Falls. Sightings in Mount Provo, sightings on the east side of the highway just side of Duncan. There's a lake back in there. There's a conservation officer and his son, who I know, got the truck stuck there, and there's one screaming at them in the middle of the night. So yeah, there's a lot of activity around there.
All right, let's move on here, as we will go to Catherine in New York, who is asking, what's it like to encounter a new creature you've never come across before?
Well, that opens the door to a whole pile of stuff, right? I mean, I've been in New Zealand to see some crazy things. I've been in Kodiak and Alaska, but if it comes down to these things, it sucks. There's nothing good about it. I've never heard of one human being that said it was so fun to see a Sasquatch.
That is very true. It is intimidating. Mm-hmm. I like to describe it this way. When you see something that's not supposed to exist, it really messes with your head, doesn't it?
If it's not supposed to exist, that would mean you're familiar with the topic before you saw it. So, for sure. But if you imagine the power of that experience, if you did not have a frickin' clue about these things, you're cruising along in your usual place of growling at you or words screaming at you and making the ground shake under your feet. Can you imagine what that would do and what that has done to human beings who didn't know about it? Like, that's absolutely incredible. That's an incredible bad experience.
All right, let's move on here to another question. Let's go to your YouTube channel, because we are monitoring the chat there as well. Matthew White is asking, Steve, have you seen any clear videos or photos sent in to you by either YouTube subscribers or people that you know?
Yeah, well, here's the shitty deal here. It goes back with people being scared. There is, I have one of the most clear photographs I ever seen on my phone. That's what I was supposed to have. There's probably, I know of at least a half a dozen videos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different photographs that nobody's ever seen before, and the people are too scared to share them. I'm working hard on it. There's a few of us working hard on getting these items for something we're creating for everybody, and I'm pretty confident we're going to. But it's amazing to me. You know, as in one example of the photograph department that nobody's seen, there's one guy, older guy in north central British Columbia, full-on avid hunter, and I've had numerous of his friends email me to tell me that this guy's got 2 of these damn things on his trail camera, clear as a bell, and they say, oh, well, you know, he likes to be, you got to be careful with these things, so he's not sharing it. Like, what the hell are you frickin' thinking? What are you thinking? What do you think if you share it, you're going to blow up? You know what I mean? Like, you're helping. You got to help people. And so that's obviously a frustrating topic. But yes, there is photographs I've seen. I have I'm going to go meet up with someone who has ongoing things going on in their yard not too far from here, and they have a clear security camera video of an 11-foot tall being that they're going to show me. So yeah, there is. Don't kid yourselves, you guys. There is plenty of items out there that people aren't sharing.
All right, let's go back to your YouTube channel, where the chat continues. Del982 is asking, Steve, what reason do you think governments have to keep what they know about Sasquatch from us?
There's another 25 rabbit holes. I think, you know what, if I had to really boil it down to like an easy answer, I firmly believe that global leaders are just a group of the good old boys club, and you sell your soul to be in that position. And I'm a firm believer that the people in control have dumbed us down to the point of absolutely controlling us, keeping us completely blank of our history, our true history, and our true selves and what we can do in this lifetime. And I don't think it's government as a whole. I think most politicians are too stupid. But I think it's once you get up to the top of the ladder, then you're going to find the people that know, and they have a lot to lose if we are informed about the truths of this and many other truths. And that is, I'd bet heavy on that.
All right, let's go to the Space Travelers Club. Joey is asking, would you consider the hypothesis that Bigfoot is a vibrational entity controlling its frequency to one outside the limits of our own perception?
Whew. Remember, I'm just a hunting guide. You know, that's something that I just do not have enough knowledge of to make an accurate, informative comment on that one.
Yeah. That's why he's one of the brains of our operation around here. You know? Yeah. Actually, Joey, believe it or not, he's actually an experiencer as well. Down in Utah, he's actually had encounters with skinwalkers.
Right.
So he's very much into this subject. All right, let's move on here. Mike is asking, Steve, have you seen any other strange things in the bush during your travels? I'm going to assume here, because I know Mike personally, that he's talking about things like Dogman or anything like that.
Right. You know, I've had a handful of people hounding me about the Dogman topic. And, you know, obviously I've never seen one, so I haven't really, when it comes to the Dogman topic, it doesn't really catch my attention too much. However, I do have very experienced, intelligent friends in the United States and a few other places who talk to me about these things. And, no, I haven't seen one. I don't want to see one. I don't crave it, that's for sure. And I'm going to be straight up honest. If I seen something with a human-like body and a dog's head on it, I would guarantee you that 300 Ultra Mag is going to be roaring. That's all there is to it. No thanks, and no, that's getting shot.
I ran into an elder up here in the Cannon Lake Reserve, and he told me a story about 20 years ago up near one of the lakes here, where his brother-in-law and him were out hunting, and they actually encountered two of these dogmen about 200 yards away walking together. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, and it's along the same range as the Mount Timothy area in that vicinity. So what do? We go looking for it. That's what we do, because we're stupid that way, but haven't found them yet. All right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody needs to find something like that.
All right, let's go to Solomon Joe here, who's a follower of yours in one of our chat rooms, and he's asking, can I send photos and story encounters from the Navajo Reservation to you? Thank you, Steve. Keep up the courage. And will you do any sort of documentary?
Yeah, you guys can send anything you want to me. If you guys want to, I'm getting sent stuff nonstop. If you want to send me some confidence, obviously I get lots of stuff sent to me. People who ask me not to share it. I'm not sharing. If you send something to me you want me to share with the public, I'll share it. Oh, you know what? On that note, that listener, that follower for sure. Yeah, send it away, man. I'll check it out for sure. And we're going to do some kind of a documentary. We're going to do something a little better than a documentary. A lot better that nobody's ever done, and it is going to help a lot of people. And we'll just leave that at that for now. But I need to tell you guys something. I've had so many photographs sent to me, it's ridiculous. But I've had this one sent to me, and this one particular woman in the United States, the property is just being ravaged by various absolute mind-boggling strange things. And she sent me this photograph of this thing in a trail camera. And you can see the shadows of three other beings it's broad daylight. In this thing, I would not wish it on anybody, my worst enemy, to run into whatever the hell this thing is. And she gave me permission to share it. But I think I will share it for all you people that bitch and whine and complain about people who claim to have photographs around. And we sent that photograph off to some other experts in the United States, and it's legit. It's a legit frickin' photograph. Hasn't been touched, hasn't been played with. But, there's some strange shit going on the planet, man. I'm telling you, as you know.
Oh, yes. Absolutely there is. That's why we talk about the woo every night, my friend. Welcome to Wooville. Population, all of us. Let's get to your YouTube channel. There's a couple of questions here. We'll start with Hagen und Munnen. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Steve, would you talk about the spheres?
Spheres? You mean,
spheres.
What's a sphere? What's a sphere? You must be
guess
talking about
like
orbs.
the orbs?
You know what? All I can talk about and all I can relay to everybody is exactly what people send into me in their stories. I have never seen a glowing light. I've only seen these things twice, and there wasn't any bright lights associated with it. I've never seen, I get asked all the time. Oh, actually, I do have a video on my trail camera from this year. There's 4 sets of eyes in a video I went and stared in the camera. It's kind of creepy as shit. I'll share that later. But one set of eyes is probably about 6.5 feet off the ground. The other one had to have been at least 14 feet off the ground, and it's creepier than fucking hell. But those are the only lights that I've seen. They're not really lights. Those are eyes. And they're probably from the people who have mastered the topic you're curious about. I'll guarantee you I do not have knowledge on what exactly these glowing orbs or spheres are. I don't know. But they are, it's very, very commonly associated with sightings of these damn things.
All right. The Guy Show from your YouTube channel asked Steve, do Bigfoot take people? I am a hunter, and I know they are out there.
Do they take people? I'm definitely not in a position to dictate what these things do, but I am in a position, and many people are, to relay what other people tell us, which is the First Nations people still today in numerous remote Native communities. They send out blatant alerts to the community when there is a Sasquatch around to keep the women and children in the house, and that's a fact. And there is also a fact that the First Nations people west of Prince George have told the RCMP they figure at least X amount of the women missing on the highway tiers, Sasquatch beings are responsible for that. And that's coming from the First Nations, not me. Don't kill the messenger. But there's, the more I've learned about these things and from people who have been intimately studying these things for a long time, the word on the street is, and the facts are, for the most part, no, but sadly there are some bad ones out there. So, what do I do? You see the rifle on my back of my videos. I mean, I do intentionally put myself, when I make my videos, where there's activity, intentionally, for the hell of it. You never know, but I don't know. If there is some bad ones out there that are responsible for people going missing, I'm not going to go offer my ass up to them. That's just me. That's just how I'm going to roll. But you can, David Politis, he's got some great books out there. He cares, Dave, just so you guys know, that man cares about people, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I will promote him and help him any way I can. And it's mind-boggling why all these thousands of people that go missing, why are we not focusing on that? Why are we not all upset and talking about it? How come we're not all banding together and demanding answers for that? It's mind-numbing. There's the cricket sound again. Hey, everybody, how come you're not concerned about the thousands of people missing? Crickets,
For sure. Absolutely. Hey, I do want to ask you, in regards to people who have gone missing, and David Politis, you are quickly establishing and forging a friendship with him. What do you think of his work and the stories that these people just disappear without a trace?
Well, you can't ignore the facts. All he does is deliver to everybody the facts, and he leaves it out to everybody else to ask questions and find answers for themselves and help find the answers. And what do you do? I mean, the facts are the facts. And, sadly, I can't speak directly for Dave, but there's a handful of people out there who there's a lot of information that's being withheld. A lot of people that know some answers and write about them straight, but there's so much more that gets withheld. It doesn't matter who it is. Somebody out there, everybody has something extra they just won't share publicly. It's frustrating because potentially they have a lot to lose. But, I don't know. Thousands of people missing. It's like you flick the channel, you click the mouse, and you see it, and you read it, and you click the mouse to the next topic. Boom, it's in your face. Boom, it's gone, and it's just not getting they're just not getting the attention they deserve. It's very frustrating.
All right, let's go to another question. This one from Joe in California, who is asking, Steve, what was your latest sighting of the big hairy guy?
A sighting or experience? Well, my sighting, seeing one of these things. I saw one of these things, probably 7 years ago was the last time I actually saw one. And the last time I had an encounter with one, I definitely got screamed at well, actually, no, I had this crap scared out of me about a month ago in my truck with the window open in the dark, waiting for it to get light out. Didn't see anything, but I had the crap scared out of me. And so that was what? That was probably 3 weeks ago, I think that happened. I usually have I'll probably have 2 or 3 items a year, it seems, on average. But I got nothing to hide. I'll admit to anything. You know, I'll tell you flat out, there's numerous places I just don't go. I just don't go around here where I live. I mean, one ran across the road in front of a logger, probably 250 yards up the road from where I live right now, right across the front of the road. And then, you know, it's funny, I went in line with that sighting, and I found a massive, massive dump in line with that. So I had a sighting here, that was there, and a straight shot was where we found the print. We're making a video, easy, crisp print. And then a young guy, emailed me because his father got screamed at 4 times, once about 200 yards, and this thing closed the distance on him in thick brush up to about 50 yards and let him have it again. And that happened about a month ago. So there's fresh activity nonstop where I live. It's nonstop. But yeah, to answer the question clearly, the last time I seen one of these things with my eyes was about 7 or 8 years ago.
Have you ever shot at one?
No.
Would you?
From what I know now, I think if you were to intentionally go out to look for one of these things to blow its head off, it's not going to happen. I firmly believe they know your intentions before you even get there, and that's just from first-hand encounters of people telling me exactly what happened. And if obviously it's going to be so intimidating. I mean, the sad part about these things is their description fits our childhood monster description to a T. So ever since we're young little children, we're taught that this is the frickin' scariest monster on the planet. You know, big, hairy, muscular, huge. So it's a bit much for anybody to take seeing one of these things. I think if I seen one standing there blatant, just letting me look at it, clear as a bell, and I got a high-power rifle in my hands, the scope's going to be on his forehead, without a doubt, because those things can move faster than lightning. But yeah, if I had one of these things in front of me, all right, cool. I'm putting the gun on it until it makes me feel absolutely calm. If it doesn't, the gun's staying on it. And if I feel I'm threatened, I'm pulling the trigger. But other than that, no. I firmly believe if you are, especially my style of hunting, I hunt, you know, a couple hour hike from my vehicle in the timber. And,
right.
I'm a firm believer. If you went and whacked one of these things or teed off on one, good luck making it out to your truck unscathed. That's all. You know, I can't say for sure I've never shot one, but that's what my guts tell me, and I let my gut just dictate a lot.
Steve, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour on Spaced Out Radio. Steve Isdahl, our guest. We're going to continue the Bigfoot talk, howtohunt.com on his website, his YouTube channel, How to Hunt. Make sure you subscribe to that. We'll be back with more Bigfoot talk after this.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckard, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio. Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, CHIVE Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have you with us. We're going to get right to our guest tonight, Steve Isdahl from howtohunt.com and his YouTube channel, How to Hunt, which has over 87,000 followers. We're talking Sasquatch tonight. Steve, we got a bunch of questions still lined up from our guests, but right before the break, you had said that you would shoot at one if it came at you. Do you think it'll ever come to that? Because so many hunters or people that I have heard from other researchers or from myself who have had these close encounters have said that when they've raised their rifle up to Sasquatch, they have felt one of two things. Number one, almost like a telepathic message came through and said, yeah, you better put that down if you want to survive. Or number two, they said it was looking like I was focusing in on a human being, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that. Have you heard those, and what's your opinion?
Yeah, that's as common as bread when it comes to this topic, right? You can't, there's so many multiple incidents similar to those. It's ridiculous. But you look at one of the earliest noted incidents. Who's that? William Rowe, when he's looking at that thing stripping the bushes, leaves with its mouth. And he said it was at that moment I knew I was looking at a human being. He thought it was a bear. He's bear hunting. So you can't argue the fact that so many people say these things look human-like. They look too human-like to pull the trigger on. That photograph on my phone looks damn human-like. It's ridiculous. But as far as the telepathy goes, word on the street is the Russians are far more advanced in the study of these things in North America, and quoted saying they're frustrated with North American researchers, and they linked ESP in these things years ago.
It is amazing what could be out there for information. Okay, let's continue on with some of the audience questions here. Dave is asking, would you be willing to call my brother who lives in Duncan? He believes in Sasquatch, but he is in 100% complete disbelief that they could be just 10 minutes from his home, which is 300 yards from the Cowichan River.
Call him. Well, like I told everybody, honestly, I don't want to be a dick or anything, but I just don't have the urge to prove anything to anybody. I don't. I feel firmly it's a waste of energy. I mean, at this stage of the game, with what we do know about these things and what's made public, if you can't wrap your head around and accept those facts now, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to convince you. Your brain's just not going to fire that way, and you're not going to be able to wrap your head around it. It's just not going to happen. So, like I said before, I'm speaking up for the people who are messed up from seeing these things. That's my main concern.
Do you feel that if you were in a close encounter with this, where, let's say, within 20 feet, 30 feet, do you think this creature is dangerous?
I think anything that, I'm not going to think it's like a puppy dog, that's for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. If there's something in the woods one-on-one with you and it outweighs you by about 4 or 5 times, it's probably going to be potentially threatening for sure,
All right. I got a great question here because I was actually watching one of your videos and I took this in my notes, and thank you, Dell, for reminding me of it. You mentioned an incident that involved the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Harrison Hot Springs about 10 years ago, 20 years ago. What happened out there?
What's his name? Ray Solomon. There's a man went missing in Harrison, and David Plyde, he studied this case intimately. He knows a lot more about it than I do. And this man, avid outdoorsman, avid hunter, healthy, went everywhere he went. He took his dogs with him, and he was up at what they call 48 kilometer inside of Harrison Lake with his dogs. And there were gunshots reported from other campers about a mile away. And investigators showed up, and they found his clothes. I think they found his gun, his ammunition, and his dogs were locked in the camper, and he disappeared. But some of the strange things that happened was, and the wife is absolutely frustrated, is the police aren't releasing the full-on details of what went on and what they discovered and what they reported on. And they've gone to the government to try to get them released, and they won't release. There was a tactical division of people that were dropped out of airplanes and parachutes into the timber at search and rescue mission. And who does that? Search and rescue doesn't jump out of planes and parachutes and sleep on the ground. And it was noted that when the search and rescue showed up, those guys were coming out of the timber visibly shook, and specifically told the researchers they could go check around the lake and check around the camper and not to go in there. So I was hoping to put out a message to any of those people who possibly jumped out of that plane, or there's RCMP officers who might know something more about this case, because, obviously there's the poor man's wife and family, and come on, man, they deserve answers. They deserve to know every single thing that went on and find out what happened. So I was hoping to reach out. So there's a big number of people following the channel. I'm just hoping to reach out to one of these people. I mean, if I was one of those members, it would probably be eating me alive, what possibly may have gone down, and we've been possibly sworn to secrecy or intimidated to not speak of. I'm like, hey, man, just make up a fake email and throw us a bone. Just throw us a bone, and help put to rest the mystery of what happened to this poor guy.
Question from Dave. He is asking, do you think some new hunters have decided not to get into hunting because of some of the stories you've shared or others like you have shared?
I don't think so. I think, for new hunters, that comes down to people not even being a hunter, a hiker, or a mountain biker. It's more of, where's your mindset with this topic? Are you open to it? Do you even read any of this and listen to this and take it to heart? Have you understood that out of all these encounters and all these stories, nobody's actually been hurt directly or ripped in pieces, But people not going hunting because of my stories. I haven't heard of anybody. Nobody's messaged me and said, thanks a lot, man, I can't hunt now. I haven't had one email like that yet, or a comment. So, I don't think so. But I would definitely, if given a choice, am I going to share what I know with the public or keep it secret so that they go hunting and I don't ruin it for them? I think that's pretty irresponsible for anybody. I think it's irresponsible for the people who should be in a position to keep us informed. I think that every single one of us deserves to know that this is going on. And I also firmly believe that we should be informed of where there's some recent activity so we can have the choice of whether or not we want to put ourselves in that patch of timber or on the side of that mountain, because it's not fair to not know. So, no, I don't think I'm preventing people, new hunters, from taking up hunting, and I am firm 110% believe that I am doing a good service for certain.
All right. Phil has a question here, and this actually pertains to my area, where I am here in British Columbia as well, Steve. It involves the logging industry. Now, I know west of Canham Lake, earlier this summer and last year, there was a logging crew that was scared out of its area by a Sasquatch that was literally throwing hundreds of pound boulders on top of its equipment. Do you think the logging industry has a big say in Canada, maybe even Washington State, Oregon, California as well, that we're not being told about Sasquatch?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. I mean, we've got plenty of reasons to shut down logging right now. Look what they're doing to hunting. I mean, we got grizzly bears in the forest. That's all you need to shut down logging if you really want to push it. Nope, I don't think it's logging. I don't think it's money. I think it's the control. I think it's the control. I think it's our true history, our true identities, possibly. I think that if we are fully informed of the honest truths of these things, then a whole pile of other things are going to unravel, and it's going to cause a bit of an uproar of society. And I'm a firm believer that is the reason why we're not being informed. It's not about logging, simple logging and money.
What's your thoughts then on these logging camps getting attacked by the creatures? Do you think it's because they're going into their territories? Do you think it's protection of the forest?
No, the old school, you always hear about, they're the protections of the forest. And you can kind of snicker at that one. It's like, really? Well, if you go take a look at Vancouver Island, it's an epic fail if that's what we're doing. If that's what they're doing, right? I mean, they haven't stopped any logging. What's going on with these loggers? I don't know. I haven't a clue. It obviously would have something to do with that specific area where those guys are setting up camp and logging. How many of these things might be there? Maybe they just showed up there. Maybe they've been holed up there. I haven't a clue. You know what? That's definitely going to be between those things and that specific area for certain. Why are they attacking them? I don't know. Why do they throw rocks at us? Why do they scream at us? Why do they chase us out of the woods? When they do, I haven't a clue. And it happens so often. Mountain bikers, hikers, fishermen, hunters, everything. These things. Another thing going back on whether or not you should be scared of these things, it's like when I guide people up in the middle of nowhere, there's a lot of people that come up and they're paranoid and they're scared about grizzly bears. And grizzly bears are so freaking intelligent and so swift and so fast. If one of them wanted to kill you, you're basically dead. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, they got a nose on them. They're cunning. They're intelligent. They want to kill. They're not. What I'm getting at is they're not going to pre-warn you. So that's another thing about these things, how they can be confusing to me as a hunter and reading the habits and the reactions and the demeanors of game. There isn't an animal alive that pre-warns you it's going to kill you. They're not going to roar at you. They're not going to throw rocks and sticks at you if they want to kill you. They're going to silently come up and stalk you perfectly, and they're going to kill you. Do you know what I mean? So attacking these, I think, attacking, obviously I'm not a Sasquatch psychologist, but whatever reason it is they feel compelled to harass human beings, they're going to have to get it across to us clearly so we can understand. But until then, it's going to be accepted that it's a common occurrence. Why they're doing it, I haven't a clue. But I think if given the choice, you should be thankful they're doing it, because if those things or anything wanted to kill you, they're not going to warn you like that. They're not going to give you a heads up. They're coming to get you. It's going to be swift, quiet, and you're not even going to know what happened. And that's not just Sasquatch. That's with any predator animal, including humans.
Oh, yes. We've got about 9 minutes here before we got to go to break here at the top of the hour. Steve Isdahl is our guest tonight. Steve, Mike is asking a question in our Space Travelers Club. How many times have you come across Sasquatch footprints when you've been out?
I was thinking about the other day. My girlfriend and I, we just found one, I think a month ago. I've found them at least 4 times for sure, maybe 5. 4 solid different times I found prints by accident, and I've never really gone looking for them. For what I do, hunting as a hunting guide, I'm looking for tracks basically every time I'm on the ground. Anywhere I'm on my horse walking, I'm looking for tracks. Looking for tracks is probably the number one activity I do when I'm in ground or snow that can hold tracks. You're looking for tracks. So I'm 99% of the time I'm looking for game tracks, and obviously in the back of my head there's that seed that can't stop me. I'm also looking for potential large human-like footprints as well, and it's unintentional most of the time, but you just can't stop yourself because I don't really want to see them. I don't want to see them. I want to try to relax, try to stay focused, do what I'm doing, enjoy what I'm doing, and know that one of these things isn't breathing down my freaking neck. So yeah, I'm not really going out of my way to find the sign of these things, but I've always got one eye peeled. But yeah, I've found tracks myself 4 solid times, maybe 5 times, but 4 solid times for sure.
Yeah, we've only found 2 in this area that I've seen.
Yeah.
They're intimidating. Like when you see them on the ground, like my buddy Mike one day, I was actually happened to be talking to a Sasquatch researcher in Washington State at a conference, and my buddy Mike calls me up. He goes, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" He goes, "I was driving, looking around, decided to get out of my vehicle to go to the bathroom. Just about to get started, I look down and there's an 18-inch print right beside me on the hard-packed logging road." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me."
They're pretty impressive sight. And that's another thing, too, like for the people like I explained before, there's so many people that just can't wrap their head around it, right? I mean, how can you, as a clear conscious, as a clear thinking individual with 2 eyes and ears and a mouth, how can you show a set of tracks, specifically say in snow, and there's numerous trackways made in snow, and it's obviously impossible to duplicate those prints being a human being. How do you look at that and your brain says, nope, I need a body? It just does not make you shake your head.
It does for me because I'm an experiencer. I don't need, I'm like you, right? I don't need proof. I've had my own personal proof, right? But there are people out there who say, we need that body, we need that blood sample, we need this. And in the meantime, I'm much like you, where I'm like, what about the footprints? What about the scat, the hair samples? You know, David Paulides' work with DNA that he did, he spent a lot of money on that to get that done. There is so much evidence out there that has been found already. What more do we need outside of a body? We don't need anything more.
Well, you know what's going to make it a lot easier for a lot of people is, who cares? Somebody doesn't accept these facts, who cares? Keep going. Just kick them off to the side. It doesn't matter. Taxidermists, hunters, fishermen. Anytime I meet somebody new, I say, you ever come across these things? And numerous times people look me square in the eye and they go, nope. So the answer is like, nope, man, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, okay, roger that. Okay, carry on. I'm good. Doesn't matter. Why does it matter? Why does it matter to people so much to have people agree with them on whether or not these things exist? It just, you got to push past that. You got to ignore it, push by those people, kick them to the side and leave them back there and keep going forward and gain the knowledge. You know, I mean, it's frustrating to watch. Who cares? Who cares if they can't? Okay, here's one simple example. That, you know, the Patterson Gimlin film strip. You know, there's a bunch of, I'm trying to watch my language here. There's a bunch of people out there who just, there's a zipper, the guy said he made it, is a hoax. Right. Okay, well, aside from all that, you guys do know this year 2020, and still today, Steven Spielberg could even take that camera in 67 and duplicate that being the gait, the stride, the size, the suit, and the film clip. Right? You guys understand that, right? And then you hear crickets. That should be mind-boggling frustrating.
I'm still trying to figure out who in 1967 decides it's going to be funny to sew a pair of breasts on a costume like that.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah. But if you could just somehow get everybody to drop all the... Don't even mention a zipper. Don't even mention somebody claimed to have hoaxed it. Don't even mention that. Don't even mention the boobs, the fur. Don't mention anything. Focus on one thing. Let's see if everybody can just focus on one thing when it comes to that film strip. Why can't they duplicate that today? Answer that one question. Just answer that one question. Don't skip over to, what's got breasts, what's got a zipper is hoax. Just answer that one frickin' question, you dumbasses. Answer it, and answer it cleanly and clearly. Why can't they duplicate that film strip? What's the answer? And then you get crickets.
We got less than 3 minutes to go before about 4 minutes here to go before we go to break at the top of the hour. Steve, I got to ask you then, since you don't want any more encounters with these things, yet they keep happening, I'm going to assume, and I think I'm 100% correct here, that you're not going to be one of these people like me who goes out in the forest and puts a gifting site out there.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
What do you think of that?
How's that for an answer? No. What do I think of the gifting sites? I think, whatever floats your boat. If that's your passion, if that's your curiosity, if your soul, your gut drives you to do that, then you do it, and you do it until you've done it enough or it makes you feel good. You just do it. You don't have to explain it to anybody. And it's none of my business. And I'm not here to judge or it's got nothing to do with me, and I don't care. Teach their own, giver, fill your boots. For me, no, I'm good. You guys stay over there, I'll stay over here.
I can't wait for action at mine, man. We thought we had things going, and then the forest fires. The forest fires, I think, ruined us.
Was that right?
Yeah. We had it going. We were starting to get some movement in 2017, and then the forest fires hit, dried everything out, and that's where everything... it was more 2018 when we noticed that everything stopped moving. Everything.
Right. It's like there's that family not too far from here that wants me to stop by, and the same thing, there's a big fire right by their place. But all of a sudden, that's what started the encounters on the property, and they found where these things have been hanging out and eating. And they said they're eating black bears like they're frickin' candy in the same spot. And it's right on the edge of the burn.
I never knew them. I'd never heard of Sasquatch eating black bears.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. There's so many reports of those things gobbling up everything. There's a report in Alaska. The guy shot the black bear, went to get his truck, and came back, and things gone. And then all of a sudden, he looked down by his feet and just saw like a tiny little, toonie-sized patch of black fur underneath the moss. And sure enough, it had been covered perfectly in moss, hidden from him.
Incredible.
But there was another guy, young guy in Vancouver Round emailed me, and he said he found a spot where there's a tight tunnel that goes into this thick brushy area, opens up, and he said there's nothing but skulls and rib cages everywhere in this condensed little area. And he thinks it's a huge black bear. And I'm like, he said, what do you think? What should you get this black bear? And I'm thinking to myself, well, first off, bears don't do that. I'm like, I wanted to tell him, you might not want to go in there and hang out, but he's going to persist. He's going there and put some trail cameras up. But it's funny how common that is, of people finding areas that are secluded, but all of a sudden they're going through thick brush, and there's all of a sudden there's a pounded down trail, and it busts open into a little bit of a sheltery kind of area in that thick brush and timber, and there's skulls and rib cages and femurs. And what this guy explained to me near here, he said the leg bones are twisted apart like licorice. All of them.
That's a
Every
lot
one
of
of them
power.
twisted. Yeah,
that's a lot of power.
Kidding. Yeah.
We've got about 30 seconds here. When you hear stories like that, where, this guy, and I'm going to be polite here, on the island who's acting quite brave in regards to this, what do you tell people about caution? It's probably a long answer for 20 seconds, but get started, and then we can continue it right after the break.
What do you tell them about caution when going to kill sites or going in the forest?
Both.
Well, where there's no grizzly bears, it's never been that dangerous. If a thing to do is go in there and kill sites, and the black bears are terrified of us. If it's where a grizzly country is, don't do it.
Well, let's leave it at that for right now, because we're going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Steve Isdahl is going to be with us right through hour number 3. Just him and I and all of you for the first half hour. Then in the second half hour, we're going to connect with The Shift with Drex on CKNW and the Chorus Radio Network right across Canada to talk some Sasquatch as well. So stay tuned. More Spaced Out Radio coming up in hour number 3.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark, and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, CHIVE Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really do appreciate it. We're going to skip the theatrics right off the bat. We're going to get right to our guest tonight, Steve Isdahl. His website, howtohunt.com. He has quickly become one of the biggest voices on Sasquatch here on YouTube. His 87,500 followers watching every video by the thousands, tens of thousands. It's youtube.com/howtohunt. If you want to check it on out, highly suggest you subscribe to that channel as well. Don't forget to subscribe to ours, by the way. We would appreciate that. Steve, welcome back to the show.
Okay, I'm awake. I'm still awake.
All right. Right before the break, we were talking about cautions in going into the forest. If you encounter one of these creatures, you know, do you try and get away? Do you get away as much as possible? You know, I mean, there's a lot going on here, man, when it comes to safety.
Well, one thing I tell everybody now in life is whether, you know, not just on this topic, on anything, you follow your gut instincts on anything. Every single decision you make in life, if you can, you get in tune with your gut instincts, and they're always right. Don't fight them. And you rely on that when you go in the woods. So, I mean, when you're in the woods, you're not distracted. You don't have loud noise around you. Everything's natural. Everything's real. And your senses are more heightened. And if you feel uneasy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's making you uneasy. But if you're in the forest, you're hunting, you're hiking, you're fishing, whatever, if you feel uneasy in your gut, your instincts, you listen to it. And you react accordingly. If something's telling you not to go over there, don't go there. You know, you follow your instincts no matter what you do in life, and you'll win. If you go against your instincts, you're going to lose, you know.
In your estimation, how smart is this creature?
Whew, how smart. How smart. I think these things are very, very, very intelligent. Like I said before, I think these things outclass us probably by 1,500% in their element for sure, and ours obviously, but they're very, very smart. They're very intelligent. They have absolute unbelievable reaction times. They're just a very, very intelligent unknown being. It's driving a lot of people insane trying to figure out.
Yeah, no kidding. I think there has to be an element of smarts. I mean, they aren't the reigning hide-and-seek champions for a reason in the forests of North America and the world, man. I think they do have that ability. And, one of the things that people talk about is the smell these creatures give off. Do you think that is a normal smell for them, or do you think it's much like a defense mechanism like the skunk uses?
No, they don't need that as a skunk uses. But I haven't a clue. I have smelt it once. And for anybody familiar with the zone, I smelt it off of the power lines on the east end of Humpback Road years ago. And also an RCMP officer watched 3 of those things walk across the road in front of her right there, too, coincidentally. But this was years ago. This is probably 20-some-odd years ago I smelt that scent back in there, going in, and then coming back out, we went and looked for it, and it was gone. But I don't know, when you try to make sense of it, which I don't lose a lot of sleep trying to figure out intimate details of how these things operate. I really don't. But obviously, you kind of wonder. I don't think that scent from them is a full-time scent. I don't know. I've got a couple theories on what it may be, but nothing I really want to share yet because I don't want to be quoted on it because I'm not certain. That's another thing, too, of me is I have a tough time answering questions that I don't know the absolute accurate answer for. If I don't know if I'm not an expert in that topic you're seeking the information on, I have a hard time. Whereas many other these people call them researchers, they don't hold back in. They just dictate to everybody what they think, and they will make sure that you jump on their train of thought, which is ridiculous. But I don't know. I can't explain the scent thing. I firmly believe it's not a full-time scent. Do I think it's a warning for us? Possibly. Is it possibly residue from something they have? Possibly a transition. Is it a possible scent from a transition that they just completed or performed, in a way? I don't know. I'm just tossing these goofy thoughts around in my head. But just to answer that question, I don't think it's a full-time scent, and I don't think it's an alarm. I think those things want us to know something about them. A boulder's coming your way, or a big tree's getting pushed over, or a roar or a growl that shakes your ribcage is coming. They don't need an extra warning. They don't need a simple scent to freak us out. They got that down packed. So, if I had to, what I think, I don't think it's a full-time scent. I don't think it's a warning. I'm leaning towards the possibility it's just a residue from something they have done, and I don't mean they're taking a dump. I think it's something else, possibly.
Many people will say, if this creature is here, which we do know it is, especially if you've had an experience, where's the bodies? Why haven't we come across a body? The example everybody always says is, well, you never see a bear skeleton or carcass in the forest. I've seen 2, personally. But we've never seen the body. We've never found them. Where do you think they are burying their dead, or do you think that they are interdimensional and taking them to a different plane? What do you think's going on?
Haven't a clue. I have not a clue. Like you say, what have I found in my past? But we're talking, the amount of time I've spent in the woods. I used to do 120 days straight in remote British Columbia, Yukon. I've been in remote Alaska, Kodiak. I've been in numerous places where there's numerous different flavors of predators. I've found a grizzly that died of natural causes once. And do you realize how many days? And, I started guiding for big game over 20 years ago, and even here where I live here, there's grizzly bears and wolves, cougars, bobcats, wolverine, where I live right here. Have I ever found a wolverine carcass that died of natural causes? Never. Have I found a wolf? I've found a couple wolves. I don't think they died of natural causes on those ones. Have I found a cougar? Nope. When it comes to these things, what happens to the bodies? Haven't a clue. I haven't a clue. There's like we were mentioning earlier, the Mount St. Helens thing with the eruption. There was numerous eyewitnesses that saw these burnt up, massive, giant bodies being helicoptered out of the area. Numerous credible people saw that. Well, where'd the bodies go?
I don't know. That's $1 million question.
Where'd they go? Why? I don't know. There's so many unknown questions. How come you can't get them on trail cameras all the time? I don't know. They pick it up. Is it the infrared? Probably. I don't know. What do they do with the bodies? I mean, they are the masters of concealing themselves. But that's another thing. That's another absolute confusing thing to me. All right, the cloaking thing, the vanishing thing, it's been documented far too many times to just ignore it. And then, like, the way I think, I just try to think common sense. And if you're that, let's put it this way, if I was that intelligent and I could disappear, I would screw people over so bad it would be silly. I'd show up at a presidential debate on the stage for 5 seconds and then disappear again. You know what I mean? I'd make myself seen at the halftime football show just to freak everybody out. I'm going on. I'm babbling again, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answers. There's too many unknown things going on with these things that you can't even guess an answer. You know, it's that confusing. Do they hide and bury their bodies? You know what? If you bury a body, the wildlife digs it up. I mean, we just had a farmer up the road here. He buried one of his cows. Dead cow died, buried it 3.5 feet underneath the ground. The wolves dug it up like nothing. You know, so if these things are burying their bodies, the regular animals, the predators, the scavengers, they're going to dig them up. You're going to find the bones. So that's just what I think. So I haven't a clue. Where these bodies are.
It is one of those confusing places. You got to wonder, are they like elephants? I mean, for many, many hundreds of years, elephants weren't found. Their skeletons weren't found, and then they started finding these elephant cemeteries where they buried them. It's kind of incredible. Yeah. And I'm wondering if that's pretty much the same way.
Don't know. You know, the word's incredible. Life is freaking incredible. That's one thing everybody should be able to agree on. Everything is incredible. There isn't anything about being alive that isn't incredible. It's all absolutely incredible. You know, this is one hell of an incredible ride. Do I hope at the end of this ride we're going to at least have a quick half an hour recap of everything and get the answers to everything? Wouldn't that be freaking cool? That'd be really cool. But, it is incredible. Everything is incredible. It's an incredible topic. It's incredible that we don't know so much about this lifetime. It's frustrating. If you care.
Hey, Mike in the chat room is asking, Steve, have you ever heard any stories from conservation officers? And let me preface this a little bit. Mike is one of our outdoors guys around here. He's one of my protectors in the forest. I trust him when I go out there because I'm not very good out in the forest. I'll be honest with you. I'm just not good. I'm a meal. I'll just come down to it, Steve. I'm fat and I'm a meal, okay? And anyways, and so I got to do this show. So Mike will come out there. My buddy Mark will come out, or both of them, and they'll protect my fat butt out there. But nonetheless, he has run into a number of conservation officers, one in particular, who said he would never go on record with it because he's worried about his job. Have you ever?
Isn't that sad?
Have you heard that before?
Well, I know a handful of conservation officers as well, and obviously I've asked every single one of them. And you get that cop, you know, anybody in law enforcement is trained to have that look, you know, and they just give you that look and go, nope. And they don't even want to pursue the topic. And as soon as they don't want to pursue the topic or even offer up a slight comical opinion, you know, there's something going on there they're just not going to talk about. They're not going to admit to it or openly talk about it with you, period. But I have met one conservation officer firsthand who told me flat out that one of these things was screaming at him and his son when they had the truck stuck at a lake. I wish I could remember the name of the lake, but it's on the east side of the highway, south of Nanaimo, back in there. And there is another conservation officer, I think, in Alberta that's seen one, and there are definitely two conservation officers in the Yukon that saw one on the side of the highway. I know that for a fact.
I can tell you that, man. I can tell you there's a lot of these interesting sightings because, you know, the conservation officer told Mike, and I'm getting from Mike his information here that he gave me was that there's not a lot of these types of things that they're not allowed to talk about because they don't want to stir it up. They don't want to scare people. They don't want to, you know, never mind the fear of their jobs. They just don't want that type of hype or mentality for people not feeling safe in the forest outside of the regular animals that we know of.
Right. Well, it is what it is. You know, I mean, look what happened to that police officer that emailed me recently, and I put his story, and I was pissed right off when I read that one. I mean, the guy goes to Afghanistan from the United Kingdom, throws his life on the line. I mean, what a brave son of a bitch. And then he immigrates to the United States, becomes a police officer, sees one of these things, and his partner leaves the force, and he's the laughing stock of the department. And they suggest, you need your paycheck, you need your credibility, right?
Right. Right. I mean, do you blame them, though? Because after all, they are human. Yes, they have a job to do, but they are human, too. Mortgages?
Well, no, that's the shitty thing about this topic is so many people have been put into that position, and that's just the way it is. But you know what I'm doing is hopefully we can get enough of the good people together and turn this around and get some real attention put on this topic and get people informed. That's what should be going on. And I will guarantee you that every single person in law enforcement or the military right now that's listening to us is shaking their head in agreement. Hell yeah. You know? It's not supposed to be the amount of shit that is being held back from society is mind-boggling. It's not supposed to be that way. We've let the power slip for too long, and now we're paying for it. Now we're just a bunch of frickin' drones watching a reality TV show and accepting to donate 5-6 days out of 7 a week to doing stuff we don't want to do since we're at a young age. And it's bullshit. Okay, listen to me go. I'm starting to babble. Anyways, what I'm getting back to is we are supposed to be informed. We all deserve a fair crack at being able to obtain as much knowledge in this lifetime as there is available. You know, there isn't a human being alive that should be in the position to decide whether or not another human being doesn't get the same amount of knowledge they have. That's bullshit. And that's got to be it's just got to be stopped.
Well, hopefully the community can come together because there's a lot of different factions in the Sasquatch community out there, whether it's the science type, whether it's the Sasquatch need voting cards crew, whether it's the spiritual side and the Zen that Sasquatch is going to sit around and have a doobie with you while listening to Tom Petty in the forest, or whether it's some sort of spiritual creature that's very special to First Nations and others who've had those strange experiences. You know, when you have so many diverse areas of research, as people break it down microscopically, how are we ever supposed to come together if we've broken down the subject so much that we're taking stands on our opinions rather than trying to put it all together as puzzle pieces?
Well, I think that's where I'm coming in right now. You know what? Let them all have at it. Let them all have at it. But somebody's got to start screaming at everybody to get your heads out of your asses and band together and demand to find out why we're not informed. That's what you should be focusing on. Go ahead and argue amongst yourselves what these things are, what you've found out, how many books you've written, look at you and your plaster cast, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. You need to focus on why we're not informed. That's all you guys need to do. Put your energy there. You can go sit around and have coffee and have beers and have conventions later on with the people that already accept the fact these things are here. That's fine. You've done it. You've got a room full of people who accept these facts. Cool. And you're going to go and meet up again next year and the next year and next year. Well, meanwhile, that entire room times, 10, 20, 50, still is missing they're still missing the boat. Why aren't you guys banding together and talking solely about why we're not informed about these things? It's so. How many times have I said this already tonight? It's ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely, but it always circles back to that, Steve. That's the unfortunate part. It's almost like we're afraid to think on our own. Free thinking when it comes to Sasquatches is almost non-existent for the majority out there.
Well, free thinking is almost non-existent for us no matter what. I mean, we're taught at a young age. What are we taught at? We're taught at 5 years old to leave our home, which sucks. It doesn't feel good, right? We're taught at 5 years old, we got to do that, stuff you in the room, and have that one person at the head of the class dictating what you are going to study and you're going to take into your head. So we're conditioned at a very young age to need somebody of authority to confirm or show us or tell us something. We're not directed to go find out everything ourselves. You know? It's like, no, we're going to give you this whole menu, we're going to teach you, and you're going to follow this recipe right here. That's what we do. So sadly, the majority of the population still today can't quite think for themselves on a full meal deal yet. Am I making sense?
Oh, it makes total sense. As someone who has a young lad in school, I mean, trust me, man, when I say this, there are times when I just want to pull my hair out. Right. And I got beautiful hair, my friend. I do. I'm not afraid to brag about that. All right.
I actually didn't ask. Okay.
No. I'm more than willing to help you with that comment.
Yeah, I'm not really curious about your hair, David. Okay.
Come on. It's a beautiful mane. You know,
oh God.
But, you've gone too far in an interview when that happens.
Yeah, as soon as you start telling me about your flowing hair, wait a minute, who are you? Where am I?
Oh, well, it's one of the things we do on this show. It is. I'm not going to lie.
But yeah, getting back to people not being able to think for themselves, well, that's how we're not taught to think for ourselves on average, right? That's my take on it anyway. Because, I mean, it's obvious, not too many people can.
It's very difficult, especially in today's day and age. It's almost like we're not allowed.
It kind of sucks, really. Like, you know, some of the displays of people that are the frustrating times and the heartbreaking things I witness when people tackle this topic and they're looking for some kind of support. And it's, you know, example, got a friend of mine, very good friend of mine, and the whole family. The father's one of my best friends, the son's a very good friend, and the son has seen these things twice. And one time was very upsetting for him, freaked him right out, and his dad laughs at him. You know, you imagine where you're going to go now?
Tough to say.
To say. It's pretty sad. Where are you going to go now when your own family laughs at you? And anyway, I'm getting tired.
You know, we've only got about 90 seconds here before we got to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. What do you want out of all this? Outside of transparency, what do you want?
What do I want out of all this? Not what I want. I want all of these people who have been discredited and laughed at and tossed to the curb. I want their respect back. I want their credibility back. That's what I want. That's the bottom line. It's like, it's time. I've been sitting back watching the bullshit circus for so long, and I finally just had enough. Just had enough of the people misleading people, the people going in circles, the people using people to make money off of this topic. And meanwhile, the true issues are just getting skipped over, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about that family torn apart over there. Nobody gives a shit about that guy who can't go to work anymore. Nobody gives a shit about that guy who will not take his son. It's bullshit, and that makes me on fire. So that's what I want out of this. And I'm kind of stubborn. I set a goal, I don't stop until I reach it. So I'm going to keep ruffling the feathers. I'm going to keep pointing out the idiots because they need to be pointed out. We just got to band together. The good people got to band together and support people and help them and inform people. That's what everybody needs to be doing. And if it's going to take me to start that, well, here I am. I'm doing it.
Well, you know what? We're going to let you catch your breath here because we're going to break here at the bottom of the hour. We're going to push Steve a little bit more here because we're going to join up with The Shift with Drex. We're going to go straight across Canada on the Chorus Radio Network. Space Out Radio continues right after this.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to CHIVEcharities.org and become a donor today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Radio and his buddy Steve Isdahl joining us tonight on the line. Dave, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Mr. Drex. Welcome to Spaced Out Radio as well on this beautiful Tuesday night. What's this I'm hearing that you don't want to go play in the forest just in case a big old Bigfoot comes up and gives you a little kiss?
Well, I was saying to our listeners that in the conversations, and you and I have had a couple of conversations about Sasquatch and Bigfoots in the last few weeks here, and some of the stories you've told me have really just left me with goosebumps in the studio, right? Because as I've always said to you, I'm a healthy skeptic, but when I hear those stories, I get a little freaked out. So I'm glad that you have Steve Isdahl with you tonight. He's been an outdoorsy guy since around 13 or so. He must have some pretty interesting stories to tell us, huh?
Well, Steve is reluctantly becoming, and I say that with all due politeness, becoming one of the premier researchers, even though he hates that term. Let's say influencers. Are you a researcher, Steve? Are you a researcher? No, exactly.
I'm not a researcher. I'm not a Sasquatch hunter. I'm a professional hunting guide who grew up in British Columbia, fishing and hunting. Just like basically the majority of the rural people in this province and more.
Yeah. So,
Steve, you got a website, howtohunt.com, and where people can look up a little bit of your history. But you must see some pretty odd things and hear some pretty odd things when you're out in the bush late at night, huh?
Late at night? Well, we're not normally in the bush late at night. It's supposed to be in a camp, but yeah, there's been a few moments where I've heard some startling sounds and had some startling sights for sure.
What have you heard?
Oh, well, when you hear a human-like voice that belts out, but it sounds like it came from the chest of about 3 45-gallon drums, that's a bit of an alarming sound to come belting out of the mature timber on the side of a mountain. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How long ago did that happen?
I heard that. I've heard it a couple times now. I think the most recent time I heard that specific sound was just over a year and a month ago.
And what was your initial thought when you heard that sound? What was your reaction? Were you with other people that heard it too?
No, I was alone. I was way up the side of a mountain on the edge of Garibaldi Park, in the sea to sky, and we're just standing out on this ledge on the side of the mountain, about halfway up, and it sounded just starting to come up. And all of a sudden, this booming voice just come ripping out of the timber, probably, I don't know, maybe 800 yards to the north of me, I guess. And but I'm at the stage of the game now. It didn't shock me too much because I've seen what makes these sounds, so I knew what it was right away.
You've seen what makes these sounds, and what was making that sound? What have you seen?
Well, when I was about 17 or 18 years old, I seen a human-like being in the forest, which is probably about 3 times the size of your average 200-pound man.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Unfortunately. I stress on the unfortunately part. Nothing is...
About that. Yeah, talk to me about that. Why unfortunately? Because is it the fear of the unknown as well, like many also, the rest of us? Because we all kind of get freaked out when we hear these stories, right?
Well, the sad part about this is these things are out there, and we're not being informed about them. So people like me and literally thousands of other people who don't ask for this experience are having these experiences, and they have nowhere to turn and no answers. And as soon as they share their experience with their family or coworkers, they get ridiculed and humiliated and put down and kicked to the curb. I mean, what a lonely place to be for all these people who did not ask for that experience. It's a bit of a... Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the main thing that we hear when someone goes, hey, listen, I saw something or I experienced something, and they tell the story of it, and people start laughing at them. It's unfortunate that people get laughed at because, there are people like Dave that tell people stories like this all the time as an outlet for these things. So what do you hope to educate people about? As someone who's been in the outdoors since he was a 13-year-old, what do you think people need to know about these creatures that a lot of people are still kind of skeptical of?
Well, I think what needs to be done is the people that have seen these things, they got to get brave and come forward and understand they're not alone. And band together and demand that society gets fully informed about these things. We need to be informed. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Every single one of us deserves a fair crack at having as much knowledge as we can have in this lifetime. And we all deserve a fair crack at making responsible decisions of where we're going to take our family and children for the day. That's my issue. And I don't care if anybody else believes or accepts the fact that these things are running around. I've seen them twice. I've spoke to literally hundreds of people who have the experiences, and I think it's absolutely irresponsible and not fair that the public is not being informed about these things. It's a bit of a rude way to find out about it, is to have some innocent person not informed. They've been raised to believe it's a joke, it's a myth, it's a legend, and all of a sudden one's either standing in front of them or throwing rocks at them or chasing them out of the forest, almost giving a heart attack, and after they have to deal with that, then they realize they have nowhere to go. They can't even tell their family. They're terrified of ridicule, and that has got to stop.
I got a question for both of you, Steve and Dave. When you guys, talk about this sort of stuff on radio, I would imagine, Dave, you would probably get a bunch of emails come to your inbox going, I heard Steve telling his stories. Man, here's my story. And Steve, same to you as well. Do you get an influx of emails from people after you appear on radio shows talking about this sort of stuff, of people telling you their experiences?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is my first radio show interview ever. So, but I can't answer that clearly from the previous. You see, I've had my popular YouTube channel on the go where I've been sharing my hunting experiences, and I share hunting and fishing, angling knowledge with people to help them in the outdoors. And I was constantly getting hounded by people asking me, saying, you must have seen a Sasquatch. Tell us the Sasquatch story. I get private messages nonstop. And then finally I'm like, what the hell why am I not admitting to this? Why not? Why am I not helping? Okay, yeah, I've seen one. This is what happened. So I shared the story, and then I just shared the straight-up story of my grandfather out of respect for him, and then all of a sudden, whammo, it's just snowballed to where we are today. And yeah, I've had probably, in 4 or 5 months, I'll bet I have over 4,500 emails sent in to me from around the world.
What about you, Dave? You must get a bunch of emails on this topic as well, huh?
Well, I do have to credit Steve's loyal audience on YouTube tonight for crashing my website at the beginning of the show. I'd never had that happen. That was kind of cool. And, but we get a lot of people who want to know about this subject. I mean, it is so polarizing because people don't have fear about it, but they either want to see one or they don't want to run into one, or they want to hear that experience of these close encounters. And people just want to know. That is the big curiosity that we have, Drex, is people just want to know what's going on. They don't want to know about cover-ups. They don't want to know about things that are being hidden from them. They just want to know the truth. And a guy like Steve is out there just saying, hey, let's just learn the truth of what is going on. And that's why all of a sudden he's become so popular, and why people like who we talked about last week, Drex, David Politis, is really looking at a guy like Steve as one of the new faces of where Sasquatch research has to go. Not where it could go, but where it has to go to bring more credibility and maybe some eventual solid 100% proof that everybody can believe on this planet, showing the existence of this creature. Not just those who've experienced it and know it exists itself.
I'm fascinated to know, and look, both of you could fill this question if you want. I'm fascinated to know why, when we look up sort of, reports of people seeing Bigfoot and Sasquatch, we generally sort of see them coming from the west coast of North America. Why is the concentration there? Like, I'm sure that there's sightings in, Ontario and maybe other Canadian provinces, but it always seems that it's always the Pacific Northwest that is getting these sightings. Is there any rhyme or reason to that, do you think?
Steve, do you want to take that one?
Well, it's definitely population. I mean, obviously, our higher, more dense human populations are on the coast. But if now with the invention of the internet, and everybody's reaching out, these sightings are everywhere. Every single state, every single province, except for the state of Hawaii, every single continent. These incidents, these beings are literally on every continent on the planet. And the indigenous people to each continent have known about these things since time began, and that is sadly a fact.
Why do you think that we've never seen? And look, we've seen pictures and a few videos here and there, and skeptics always go and try to explain it away as something basic or someone in a suit. But why do you think we haven't gotten to the point where there's solid scientific evidence that there is something out there? Is it just that these creatures are so elusive and can hide, or is there something else at play here?
The evidence is there. We do have the evidence. The sad truth of the story is there's more of an effort to keep the facts away from the mainstream public than there isn't. That is the fact. There's DNA, there's photographs, there's film clips, there's blood, there's tens of thousands of testimony. We got the evidence. We have the evidence. It's just the effort to keep it suppressed is stronger than it isn't.
But we keep talking about it. Dave dedicates entire shows to it. Other shows dedicate entire segments to it as well. So if we're talking about it, why is the government not understanding? And I mean governments in general. Why would they want to hide something like that?
Well, that's a whole can of worms to blow up, right? I mean, you imagine the possibilities of what is at stake to unravel with society if the truths come forward, especially for the people in control and who have the power, right? I mean, if there is a massive pile of information that's being withheld from us, you crack this pot open, it's going to crack open a hell of a lot more, and they're going to have a lot of questions to answer, and they're going to all lose their credibility real fast, and that's a lot to lose for the people in control.
Do you ever think about these creatures in the back of your mind when you take out people to show them about hunting and stuff? Is it always there playing in your mind or not?
It would be like this. If you went swimming and saw a great white shark underneath your ass, under your surfboard, do you think you're going to think about him again every time you went swimming?
Yeah, probably.
You're never going to not be able to think about that ever again. That's a fact.
How does that make you feel to be in that position that you're a guy that knows Canada's backcountry better than a lot of people, yet there's still something out there that you're always wary of, and you're a guy that's wary of a lot of things. There are a lot of things in our backcountry that can kill us. But when you describe a creature walking on two legs that's 3 times the size of a regular 200-pound guy, that's bigger than a bear, and that's kind of freaky.
Well, the thing is, for me in my position, I mean, I've been a paid hunting guide for numerous years. I know grizzly bears inside and out. I know how to deal with them. I know the mannerisms. I know where to expect to see them. I know how to avoid them if I have to. And it makes me angry that we aren't informed of these beings because I don't know all the answers about these things. But unfortunately, I've seen them. I can't take that back. I didn't ask for that experience, but unfortunately, I've seen them, and I can't be as scared of you or your audience or my neighbors and to be suppressed and keep it a secret. I mean, why? I mean, you know what? Look, I saw the damn thing. I didn't ask for it, and this is what's going down. But it's frustrating and it makes me angry because I don't know enough about these things. And neither does the public. And it's not fair, and it's time to turn it around. It's time. I think what everybody needs to do is, like you say, you're talking about other radio stations, everybody's talking about this, you got research groups, you got conventions, but why isn't everybody getting angry like I am to demand that society gets honestly informed about these things? Why isn't everybody focused on that?
Have you reached out to government authorities and asked them that question?
Yeah, not a chance. You know the state of our government right now. It's a tough thing to do. Who would you go to? I mean, every single government official needs the approval of people. They need those votes. They would not, in a million years, acknowledge one of these things publicly, in with the threat of not being reelected, right, or losing their credibility in front of the society. So.
Drex, I want to add to that for a quick second. Remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the Conservative MP and his aide that was asking the UFO questions?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I think alluding to kind of along the same lines of what Steve is saying, I have recently emailed every major party in Canada about that topic, about UFOs and whether it was going to be an electoral question that they were preparing for. I have yet to receive a single email back from any party at all from their PR department. Nothing.
Yeah, because they don't want to talk about it. Yeah,
exactly, and that's the same thing with this topic.
Look, it is an odd topic, but I'm glad that, Dave, that we can get you on every week and talk about whatever you're talking about on your show. And I'm glad that you could bring Steve Isdahl along for the ride as well. If you want to go to Steve's website at howtohunt.com, you'll find out some details there. This guy's been an outdoors guy since the age of 13, heard some strange things and saw some strange things in his younger years, and now he's telling everyone about it. Hey, Steve, thanks for being on our show and part of Dave's show, and Dave, thanks for being on our show and having us on your show. That sounds very confusing, but it makes sense.
It totally does.
Yeah, thanks,
we'll talk to you next week, my friend.
All right, thank you very much. That is Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, spacedoutradio.com. If you want to go and look at what those guys work on. Look, it's odd. Every time I talk about this sort of stuff, I always get... I
accidentally removed the wrong call. Son of a gun. Hold on, we got to get Steve back here. Got to get back. Wrong phone number. Bad host. Oh. All right. So anyways, on that note, we're trying to get a hold of Steve here again because I accidentally hung up on him. See, I didn't want to carry it on over here.
Number you have dialed in.
Well, let's see here. We'll try and get a hold of Steve later, but you know what? What a powerful show. What a powerful show as we start to wind things down here. It's unbelievable. Let's try and get Steve in here. Hold on. Did not mean to cut him off there. All right. We got him ringing. I got you. We're on the air. I gotta say, I snafu'd, my friend. I snafu'd and meant to get rid of Drex. Got rid of you instead. That's my bad. But, you know, Steve, as we start to wind things down here, and I only need you for a couple more minutes here, I want to say a big thank you to you for coming on Spaced Out Radio. I know it was an absolute marathon for you. It was something that was a little bit out of your zone of what you were doing, but, man, you dealt with it like a champ, man. And I think your hard work and your knowledge and the way you're going about things, I think it really needs to be commended.
Hey, thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And, just for a quick note for you guys, if you look back in the history of my YouTube videos, there's a man, American, who came up, he wanted to see British Columbia, and he went to Chetwynd, British Columbia, and then he was directed to go to a campsite in Moberly Lake, and that's where he had a real upsetting encounter. It's one of my first people that emailed me, and he explained to me he hadn't spoken. He's also a veteran, and he had nowhere to go, didn't talk about it forever. It really ruined things for him. Couldn't go in the woods, couldn't talk to anybody. It was a real upsetting experience in his lifetime that changed and ruined a lot for him. And you know what? He just emailed me this morning thanking me for reading his story, giving support, letting him know he's not alone out there. And he said that him and his dog, Bucky, just finally started going hunting again this year. So there you go.
Good. That's a perfect way to end the show. Steve, do me a favor before we let you go. Remind everybody about your website and your YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, I think that's how we got here. But, it's like I always said before, I don't really try to get people to follow me. The door is wide open. Come and hang out and respect everybody, support everybody. And if I can help you out with outdoor knowledge or knowledge in this, that's what I'm going to do. But well, then I got a podcast coming up. It's going to be called thefactsbehind.com, and that should be quite interesting. It's really going to snowball rapidly. I'm quite certain.
All right.
So there you go. Is it bedtime?
All right. You did absolutely great. Thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio. Really appreciate you taking the time, my friend, and I cannot wait to get to know you a little bit better. I know, when David Politis comes up to town, we're all going to have to go for a beer and share some stories, my friend.
Yeah, it'll be good to get us both on. It'll be fun. Informative.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, my friend. Take it. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What reforms need to happen in the Bigfoot Sasquatch community to make it stronger? Nicholas, hitting people with a block of wood when they forget the sa in Sasquatch. Yes, because we don't squatch around here. Paul, stop fighting amongst each other and everyone work together. Kelly, less Florida Man-esque hijinks. More people that are making more of an attempt to get footage. Chris, for him to stop playing hide-and-go-seek. Catherine, like many other businesses, it needs to have rules that people adhere to. At this moment, there is zero liability. Michelle, embracing different viewpoints, including the First Nation story and legends about Sasquatch. Shane, I have to get back to you about our next show together. We got to talk about this, Dave. Don't tell Carl. Oh, that darn Carl. Thanks, Shane. Andrew, he wants evidence. Actual evidence. Steve, stop deforestation. Park, that actually sounds better than a rhetorical question. Thank you to Steve Isdahl for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. Very much appreciate him. Absolutely love him. Steve Isdahl on Spaced Out Radio, howtohunt.com. Thank you to everybody taking part in the Thought of the Dave on Twitter and Facebook. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Thank you to all our brand new listeners who tuned in tonight to hear Steve. Really do appreciate that. We do this 7 nights a week right here at spacedoutradio.com. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself.
I know you're out there somewhere. This is the new total.
Big thank you to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, wherever you may be, because together, my friends,
we're watching.
We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great night, everybody. Merle's back tomorrow with Ghosts of the Great White North. We got some special guests coming up as well. See you tomorrow night. Good night.